Hello world, it's Kai. Welcome to my video log for today. It is currently 11:05, October 21st, Saturday of 2023. So, as time passes by, I wanted to talk about creative aspects in terms of inspiration and how one moves forward when creating things. But this is more specifically for the collective who, like I, felt like performance was bare minimum and that one could get away by putting in the bare minimum because it was still deemed as great or acceptable, and yet at the same time pushing oneself to the brinks, honestly, of the expectations of the performance. I pulled some cards for myself because I realized that I really want to talk about things, but like in a channeled sense, because I want my YouTube channel to be very spiritual. I want people to come here to feel like they can be every single part of themselves, because I realize I don't edit my videos even moving forward. If I do, it will be for specific visions, not for my own expression. And I don't know, it's just funny because I was literally watching this video with like Rick Rubin and Earl, I can't remember his last name, but they were just talking about overthinking, and like I really overthink because I believe that things should be a certain way. Therefore, this is what the idea of me talking about how growing up to perform all the time and being slightly resistant to it, but at the same time, of course, like feeling validated and seen because of my accomplishments. And this came in all forms: sports, music, academia, like even my role as a middle child, older sister, younger sister, and the eldest daughter in the family as a Korean American. So with all of these things tied in, I wanted to talk about how I've learned certain things about those experiences in my life that have honestly enlightened me, and I pray that they enlighten you as well in whatever ways that it is helpful, because I really want to help people, but I know that the only way that I truly can help people is by being myself. So let's get into it. I'm gonna pull some cards. Yeah, like I have the Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I've been thinking about like what kind of influence do I want to bring to the world? How do I want to inspire people? How do I want to grow, honestly? And a lot of it had to do with how I have grown and gotten to this point, and not feeling shame or like honestly hard on myself, because there's just so many parts of me that I love, and I love expressing certain parts of myself, but at the same time I was hiding a lot of those parts of myself from people that I truly wanted to be those parts around in order to protect myself. The Emperor card and the Moon card came out, card 4 and card 18. And then we have the Page of Swords. okay. But genuinely, I've confused myself a lot of my life, thinking that because of how I was taught success was and accomplishments meant, and prestige, and honestly arrogance, and just even being apathetic to the empathic ways of myself and not connecting with those things. Also, ignore my fucking bangs right now. Like, literally, don't even want to think about it because it's just. Anyways, doesn't matter, because I have been understanding that I see the world in a very different way. I have not once felt like I could be completely spiritual with someone. Unfortunately, actually no, that's a fucking lie. I have, but she unfortunately passed away, and it really, my soul just weeps and grieves, and it really taught me a lot about being so intentional and so grateful and so pure when I interact with people. And yet at the same time, when I was trying my best to express those things, I held myself back. And I kind of was like analyzing it because I was trying to understand, like, why do I hold myself back? You know, like, what about this is so, like, not even shameful, like, so protected? And I was like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel that I have a reliable foundation or connection with this environment, community, person, place, whatever. And I wasn't able to identify that clearly because I was truly on autopilot. I was trying my best during the time. And it really makes me think about how as a child I I really put in a lot of effort, but it wasn't intentional effort. And I'm not trying to forsake all the efforts that I have made, because I did truly try the best to the best of my abilities at the time, right? So it's acknowledging that point in my life, that person who is me made the best efforts that they wanted to make, and therefore now I can learn from not only what failed me, but also what is going to help me moving forward, because those failures, those mistakes, are actually what's going to help me the most. And so even with that, I was like, okay, so when it comes to expressing myself vulnerably, why do I feel like I need to be a different way to as if protect this persona, like this, to protect myself by putting on a persona of powerful, in my power type energy, right? And it's like sometimes yes, it's in flow, but other times I do feel like I actively don't acknowledge those very vulnerable, sensitive parts of myself. And then, of course, thinking about like being traumatized, conditioned, traumatized from experiences of being called a crybaby, um, from the experiences of like vulnerability as a weakness, and being belittled, looked down upon for crying, for being emotional, and especially as someone who's a highly sensitive person and an empath, it is really important for me not only to acknowledge these experiences, but to also actively be more practical with myself, because I am not controlled by my emotions. They are experiences that need to be witnessed, validated, observed, experienced, acknowledged, all these things by myself. And so that is why this level of confusion in this darkness that I am currently in, the dark night of the souls, is very prevalent during this time, especially as we're transitioning into Scorpio season. And after this week of all the transits that have been happening, I've just been acknowledging that I try to force myself a lot of the time to be a certain way. And because of that, I'm also blocking all of my creative aspects. Because I overthink so fucking much about different situations, I actively was holding myself back from the potentiality of expression. Just expression in itself. That is truly the core of everything. Like, I was just like holding myself back, thinking that, oh, I'm so, like, why am I so nervous? Why am I so fluttery and like it's so, like, I almost want to say annoying because I would just become this different person entirely without even helping it. And it was like I was trying to actively stop myself. And because of that, I realized, like, yes, I have a very deep wound that I'm currently still healing from, of being this vulnerable, soft, feminine side of myself, especially from my past relationships, from my father wounds and father figure in my life. And like, it's just so important for me to be this part in a powerful way so that I can stand forth and be that person. I am going to an event soon, and I feel like there's going to be someone that I was very attracted to in the past, and I don't wish to feel shame of what I have expressed in the past, but I also do want to stand within my presence of how I am now. And so it's acknowledging that things have changed, but at the same time, observing how those conditioned habitual responses will come up. and not being reactive to it, aligning my thoughts and being like, I'm here for you, I'm kind to myself, I prioritize me and what brings me joy, what brings me peace and love. Like, especially those three things, like really focusing on what is bringing me peace, joy, and love. What brings me peace, joy, and love. It's not about other people. It's not about what they're going to present to literally Page of Pentacles in reverse and Strength card 8. I've been seeing 8s a lot, and I know that that is also my divine number for infinite potentiality and possibilities. Card 11, Justice. I've been seeing 11 a lot too underneath the deck. And card 17, bro, 8 again in reverse. And truly, this ability for me to feel so differently is a gift. And I am still navigating it for sure. Like, I'm definitely navigating like how I want to be within this world, but it's like literally not overthinking that and just being, right? But it's also the ego who's afraid of like other people and like them not having the purest intentions. But it's like, fuck that. Seriously, fuck that. Because genuinely, who cares? I have this evil eye bracelet. I was about to say third eye. Evil eye bracelet, because lately I've been feeling like someone's been sending me just this nasty fucking energy. And in reality, any sort of tool that we utilize in this physical realm is to help us maximize our own channeling. So crystals, like pendulums, like tarot cards, like honestly, even our like Palo Santo incense, they are tools. And so even when I put this on, I was like, I put this evil eye bracelet on with the intention of completely and purely just protecting myself, so therefore focusing on myself. I always say to myself, like, focus, refocus, focus, refocus, redirect, regulate, like transmutate yourself, like transmutate all the negative energies within your space. You're protected by a white light. All negative energies are just naturally bounced off of it back to sender for their own transmutations. Like, genuinely, that to me is karma. And so by embodying and allowing those negative energies to latch onto me, it is really integral and important for me to just be. Like, talking so much, I don't know why I keep trying to talk less. Think about that sentence right now. Because I'm like, oh, my video's going for 30 minutes, like blah blah blah. Okay, who cares? Who cares if people don't have the attention span to watch a 30-minute video? And like, even in the background, like, who cares? Like, that's for them to decide. Like, genuinely releasing that attachment, but also not like completely like, I want to describe it in a way where I'm like detaching myself from the physical results of people's perspectives, but not being so latched to my own perception. That's why I love being a traveler. That's why I love going to different communities, and that's why I love meeting different people, because it has shown me so many different reflections of myself, and therefore allowed me to be more kind and patient and compassionate and open to different perspectives. Because people are crazy. We all have such a different way of living and thinking and taking in information, and it's just there. It's literally so prevalent in everything that we do, and it is really powerful. And that's why I believe that truly we cannot make the biggest efforts and biggest difference if we aren't making those differences with the self, for the self. And that is what I live by, because I'm just like, I truly know that my past doesn't define me, but it does affect me, and as long as I let it. And so that's why it takes a lot of awareness for me to be present in certain situations, because I'm being triggered, for example, and I'm just like literally nothing's being taken in, because I just don't have the capacity for that. And when I was working at camp, I was judging myself all the time, because I was like, why can't I just remember? Like, why can't I be more calm and on top of my shit, and like all these things, just being so mean to myself, to be honest. And like, why can't I just like not care about this person that's just passing by? Like, why can't I just focus on this pure intentional work and like life is life, right? Like, we work through things, we try our best, and that is what is important, is that we are continuing. That is it. Is that we are continuing simply by living and breathing. And by making certain decisions with myself, I've realized, like, I'm not here to confuse myself anymore. Why am I trying to confuse myself? Like, why am I trying to confuse myself? Like, especially when I get attention from other people, I'm like, why am I trying to fight this? Why am I trying to fight this? And it just blows my mind, because I'm just like, I feel like I don't warrant that. And I'm like, why? Like, why? What's so good? What's so bad about a good thing? What's so bad about a good intention, a positive compliment, you know? Like, what is so bad about that? And a good example of this, I'm gonna type this reading. I'm gonna type this reading slash channel message slash video, but this experience that I had, I was in Berkeley, and I went to this random cafe because I just wanted to try something new, and I was sitting outside with an espresso that's pretty good, and a pastry dessert thing. It wasn't a pastry though, it was really not good. But I was just sitting there, and then this guy is like walking, right? He's looking at me, and then he sits down, and he literally looks at me, and he sits down, right? And I'm just like, ah, man. And I'm really like not trying to talk, but then it gets to the point where I'm just like, hey man, like, could I just ask you to not stare at me right now? Like, I really appreciate that. I don't feel like being looked at, pretty much. And then this guy just completely fucking blows up on me, and like, he's telling me like, why the fuck are you leaving the house then, like, if you can't even fucking be looked at? And he's saying like, I was just thinking you're pretty, and like, and he's super fucking, like, he's yelling at me, and he's just projecting and shit, right? And so when he said like, you fucking bitch, like, you should have just stayed at home, just stay fucking home, and like, being so negative, right? And literally, I'm just not even like surprised, but I'm more of just like, really? Like, I actually inquire. I feel like that's like a deep part of my Scorpio sun and Capricorn moon, because I'm just like, really? Like, really? I shouldn't have left home because I'm not letting you look at me, or I'm asking you to not look at me. And after that happened, because, you know, he starts yelling at me more and more, and he's like, yeah, like, you know, and I'm just like, I honestly just start laughing, because I was just like, really? Like, oh my god. And then he kind of walks away, and then I start recording a vlog, because it just oiled, so like, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And so I literally just started laughing and recording my vlog, and he comes back and tries to like project onto me more his anger. And then, but then he realized I'm recording, so he kind of walks away from that, because I focus in on myself, right? I'm not taking it personal. It's not a personal fucking attack, but it did teach me something. I was like, I don't feel good about my physical being, so therefore I do not wish to be perceived. So when you're looking at me in this way, where you're just so honed in, oh my god, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry. Oh god. My eating disorder has been acting up lately, but good shit, bruh. Good shit. Anyways. Okay, that's actually such a good that's such a good segue, because I haven't been the best place. I haven't been actively moving forth with the best intentions with my body, and my eating disorder coming up is such a fucking clear example of that. Anyways, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm just saying that for now. I'm getting better. But anyways, yeah, so he literally, that happening and me realizing like, oh, I just don't want to be perceived. And recently I realized like, I've been putting myself in a body where I am not perceiving myself as beautiful and naturally like beautiful. And so I was just like, yeah, like, I force myself to do things just to make myself appease these certain thoughts in my mind and what I believe is true for me. and what I believe I deserve. And so it's just such an interesting concept, because even when like I post these videos and stuff and I'm literally like, oh, I don't care if anyone sees it, but at the same time, like, I want to help people. So I'm like, I want people to see it. And like, it's just such a weird, like, navigating that. It's truly like taking things step by step, like allowing myself to express, allowing myself to process, allowing myself to reflect and journal and things like that, and yet at the same time being completely authentically me. Like, me, from that just happening a few moments ago, bruh, literally told no one about my eating disorder for so much of my fucking life. Like, it's just so interesting the way that I am. I truly believe that life is full of dualities, and I do feel that effect from my thought process being in that way. And so I find myself giving myself strength from these videos, from expressing myself, from being myself. And I can only pray that it helps other people do the same, to be themselves, to not attach to other people's expectations or projections, and to not feel embarrassed or upset and taking things personal. But that's only me, right? Like, this is how I live. I'm not expecting people to live like me. That is literally impossible. But I want to enlighten people, because it has helped me a lot to be able to just live in this world, because it is quite the feat. I'm getting a little emotional because I'm just like, I do realize, like, life is precious, because I struggle so much with finding a reason to live, and it's because I was told to live a certain way. I was told to live, and I never lived for myself, except for those pure moments of childhood where I would just do something and I'd be like, I want to go outside and journal and draw in the grass. Like, those kinds of things. Wow. I do want to cry about that, but it makes me really happy that I'm acknowledging that I have things that I'm healing from, and that I can be vulnerable with the people out there. So I pray, and I send all of us support during this time, because I'm here for you, you know? If you need support or a companion to just, like, have a listening ear, you can go ahead and comment. Like, obviously, I'll read it when I have the space, because to respect not only myself, but you as well. And, like, I try my best to not project my things that I deem as problems, like my anger and my sadness and stuff. But I do feel like it's about time that I was a little more vulnerable on this account in a different way. So yeah, this has been Kai. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like my videos, I just record like tarot and like my video logs, or just like logging of my like spiritual journey and what I've realized within my life. So if you want to keep up with that, go ahead and 구독, 좋아요, 알림 결정. I don't know what the last word that they say in Korean is, but it's subscribe, like, and put on the bell notification. It's so funny. Korean people are so cute and funny. But yeah, I'm just gonna post this and not overthink it, because this is what comes fluidly to me. Peace and love.